right, let's start out with, let's see, where shall we start? Where shall we start? Um, let's talk a little bit about life on the lot. You said that you didn't go to the MGM school. You went to regular school.
No, first I had a private tutor.
You had a private tutor.
Went to regular school after
Okay,
there was
great.
no work.
Forgive me, I misunderstood. Um, how large was the lot in those days? Was it a little place to go to work in, or did it seem huge to you as a child?
It seemed very, very large. The MGM lot, which I haven't been inside of in I don't know how many years, um, it was a matter of you. The gates. Well, originally the gates were on Washington Boulevard there. Now they're just a decoration, and they had been even when I was signed up there. The gates were around the corner where they are now, although it's called some other studio now, unfortunately. And as soon as you got in, to the right was the big commissary building, publicity building, and then to the next buildings these were, makeup, men's, ladies, and then we're talking about 100 yards walking in, or driving in. And on the left, stage 1, and then stage 2, and then stage 8, which was a huge thing. They'd have a piece of a battleship in it or something, you know. And it went on and on for a better part of, I guess it's about a half a mile to the next boulevard that runs crosswise to the front gates. And then there was the lot 2 behind that, which was just as big, but not sound stages. It was a New York street and a Western street, several other different kinds of streets.
And how did it compare to Hal Roach? Because you had gone to MGM from Hal Roach. Is Hal Roach a little studio? What was that like? A little kid's studio? Or
It was
something?
down the Hal Roach studio was down the street from MGM to the east of MGM, about 2 miles is all, in Culver City, and it was a couple of iron gates you could see through, and not very much cement. One little kind of main street, and there were like 3 sound stages. There was a wooden dressing room building. I remember kind of a long building, sort of 2 stories, outdoor stairways, no elevators or anything. And this was one dressing rooms for some of the permanent people that were there.
And then how old were you when you first started to work at Hal Roach?
In the Our Gang films, 1928 and 29. Sound was just coming in then. That's why a lot of them that I was in aren't played today, because the sound wasn't very good in those days. And if they play them on TV today, you have to turn your TV way up. And if you do, you hear a lot of the offstage noises, traffic in the distance and so forth. And you hear the director saying, "Turn around, Jack, turn around." They couldn't get the directors to get used to sound. They were so used to directing these kids in silent films. So not many of those get played, unfortunately.
So in 28, you would be, were you 4, 5, 6, 3?
I was born 1922, September 1922.
Oh, so you're about 5 years old.
5 and 6 and 7. And before that, I'd worked extra. My mother was in vaudeville and playing around the country as the pianist for a singer. And my grandmother heard that down the street in those days, near Gower and Sunset Boulevards, in Old Hollywood, was a place called Columbia Studios. And it became Columbia Studios. I think it was called Educational Pictures in those days. Harold Lloyd made pictures there and stuff like that. So extras would stand outside looking, because if they were hired, an assistant director came outside and said, "I'll take you and the lady with the kid, come on in." And people used to stand in line all day long for a block or 2 long, maybe getting this job, the $2 a day and a box lunch. And my grandmother started doing with me when I was 3 years old. And from 3 to 4 to 5, And then I got a bit to do in one, I think it was one of the first sound pictures at Fox Studios, with two vaudeville comedians that didn't make a hit in movies, called Clark and McCullough. And I had one little bit to do in it, something where I came in and said something and opposed to whatever they were talking about, and made the audience laugh. And that's Roach had seen me in that, and he signed me up.